What was the name of the show?
Baking Turku.
Okay.
It's alright.
This episode is about culture.
Yep.
I will click it now.
Yeah. Hello everyone, this is Baking Turku, episode 2, and today we are talking about culture. And today with me there is Almira, who's studying education and learning as a first-year student, and Parisa, who's studying information and communications technology, and the track is data analysis.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And my name is Dzmitry. I study food development, and all of us are first-year students. And we are making Tippaleipä today, which is Finnish funnel cake. And it's a bit difficult to describe the shape before it's done. But the whole thing why we are making it today is because it's kind of a pastry that's really closely related to Finnish culture, and especially one of its biggest holidays, which is vappu, another Finnish word. There are going to be a lot of them in this stream. And yeah, so the vappu is the biggest holiday, especially for students, because it first originated as a labor holiday celebrated on 1st of May, but now students are kind of I think they might have taken the initiative at some point and just started to celebrate it themselves and made it into a really big kind of carnival with a lot of activities going on and a lot of different things. So yeah, what we will need for Tippaleipä is flour, regular wheat flour, eggs, well, I don't know if you see it, but whatever, milk, sugar, just a tiny bit of salt, a tiny bit of lemon zest, and oil for frying, a lot of it, because it's gonna be deep fried. And yeah, one of the things that everyone should be cautious about with deep frying is that it's quite dangerous, and if you're going to make it at home, please please do it safely and try to be as reasonable as possible. So yeah. And I'll start with just mixing everything in one bowl, well, except for oil. And that's technically it. And I'll also start heating the oil in the pan. And I think for now, we can just share the experience of how this year has been for us partying-wise, or other kind of things that I know. Have you ever been to any student parties, or what kind of things have you visited so far?
Ever since the beginning of my studies, and it started by the end of the August, I get to know a lot of student organization and chose 3 of them. I joined them, and now every time they throw a party or there's a ceremony, I get their invitation and I can attend their student party. So yeah, it's been a busy year. I've been into sits and some trips, like it's not a ceremony, but still it's a student activity that we do all together. Yeah, and other kind of parties that we attend. Yeah. What about Almira?
Yeah, I think I've also been to a couple of parties, but comparing to Parisa, I haven't joined the organizations. What is good with student organizations that you don't really need to be part of them to participate in the parties. It's just that there is going to be a fee difference. But I've been to some student Latin parties. There was a Halloween party. And there are lots of thematic parties and events. It's not about just gathering and dancing, but usually they have some themes. Did you have been to some thematic parties?
Yeah, actually, well, Parisa previously mentioned sits, and probably you don't really know what it is. So sits is technically a big gathering of students. Well, it depends on who organizes the sits, because, well, there are different student organizations, and we'll cover them a little bit later. But yeah, for example, there are sits parties that are organized for students of a particular degree or particular faculty. And the thing is just that people gather there and they sit along a really long table. And I don't really know if it's connected, but like sits, like that does kind of rhyme to me in its meaning with the verb to sit, because what people usually do that is just they sit and chat and drink also sometimes, because, well, some of student activities involve drinking, but it's also really easy to just choose some non-alcoholic drinks. So yeah, people just sit, drink, but it's not just drinking, but it's kind of singing different songs that have been created kind of a few dozens years ago, some of them, I think. So some of them are quite old. So it's usually organized in rounds that there is a song, then there is some kind of a break between after a song, then there is another song, then there is another break. And before each song, there is one person who kind of stands up, and that person, they kind of introduce the song by making some story before it. So it might be just a story from their life, maybe some joke, maybe some other anecdote. And after that, they kind of announce that now there's going to be this song which everyone will be singing. And also, there are like really nice books that, do you have them maybe?
Yeah, I
Oh,
bought
really?
one.
Nice.
I bought the booklet. Well, every sits is different and the theme might be different. So every organization threw a couple of sits during the academic year, and you can attend any of them, and each one of them have a bit of difference. But the main point, I think, is about singing, Swedish or Finnish or even sometimes English songs. And yeah, you can imagine it as a very big, long dinner party with a lot of singing. And honestly, it was an amazing experience. And I think that's very unique because about Finland, because I don't know any other educational system which is while you're studying, you have your personal life as well, and you have all of these parties, especially the university. Kind of suggests all attending these parties and having your own personal life.
Yeah, but could you explain a bit more about the books? Maybe
Oh yeah,
what,
the booklet.
maybe there are some other some
forgot.
traditions linked to them. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can prepare this booklet before your SIS party. So while you arrive, there's this booklet of all the songs that you might sing during, because there are a lot of them.
Right.
Like there are at least
Yeah,
30, 40?
Yeah, I would say that there's maybe even 100, so it's not that easy to memorize them.
Yeah, so not a lot of them, you might not know all of them, so you have this booklet, and when somebody announces the name of the song, they announce the number of the page as well. So you open your booklet, turn that page, and you start singing along. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though that SITs are organized by different people, different organizations, the book is kind of the same for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
So technically you can use the same book for any kind of SITs party. Yeah.
There is a question from a chat.
Oh.
So how many people are they usually joining a SITS party, and how long does it last?
Well, I think in mine there were around like 50, from 50 to 70 people, I think. And it's also a really great thing that there's this feeling of a lot of people coming together to something like this in this uniteness kind of way. I don't know. I like it when I feel it.
Yeah.
What was about yours?
I attended the Anglica's SITS party, and Anglica is the organization of English students. Students major in English, and I think there were around 60 or 70 people, and we started around 6, and I mean I left at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's because there is this thing that even though the SITS itself might last for like 2, well, I wouldn't say the 2, maybe 3 to 4 hours, there is also usually an after party after that. So if you want to spend some more time with other people, then you just go for an after party and just hang out there for as long as you want, because some people might hang out for longer, some might want to hang out for shorter time. And now I'll be transferring the dough. I have a really interesting bowl today. I'll be transferring the dough into the bottle, which is also quite interesting, to later kind of pipe it into the oil and make like the shape, this kind of famous shape that Tippaleipä has, but I'll show it to you later. So yeah, I'm just gonna pour it now here. But yeah.
Yeah, if you want to know more about these kind of student parties or student organization, we have a podcast, me and Almira,
okay.
and yeah, you can listen to them. We talk in each episode. We talk to a different organization, introduce them, and share what kind of activities they do. So that's one to check out.
Yeah, and student organizations is a very unique concept. They're maybe familiar to something you see in America or like houses in the UK, but it's still very different. There are two types of organizations. There are organizations tied to your faculty, so it's people with whom you study or like from a similar major, but then there are also hobby organizations, and there are quite many as well. So you can join multiple of them. It doesn't mean that you always need to be with the organization who represents your faculty.
Yeah, true.
And they also have a very interesting function because it's not only for partying, but they also solve your problems as a student. So they're kind of like a governing body, which also like works with student rights and things like that.
Yeah, it's true.
They contact the professors, the teachers, the faculty. They deliver the emails from the faculty to the students, so it's a two-way connection. And about other fun activities, they throw game nights.
Is it Anglica or?
No,
I
like
mean general. Okay.
General, yeah, Digit, like the other organization that I've joined, they throw game nights usually, and you can watch a movie like anime organization.
Yeah. Yeah, they're also like anime organization, for example, as a hobby group. And then they also even have karaoke, so the events can be very different.
Yeah.
But there is also another question in
No,
chat
we have a
still
lot
about
today.
sits.
Okay.
Can you join any sits by any organization or just your own organization? And what does it usually cost?
I think, well, I never really had this question, but I think it's kind of an open thing. So if you want to, you can. But I won't say surely. I think you can.
I think it depends on the organization
yeah,
too.
maybe, yeah.
Well, I think, for example, ESN, which is for exchange students, would be more open to about their SITS parties. So you might be able to join them even though you're not a member of them. But some other organization prefer their SITS party to be more private and be only members. So that kind of depends on the SITS and the organization.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and also like next week I'm joining my first SITS party and it's gonna be by two Student Union of University of Turku, and everyone is a part of it. Like we all pay a membership fee to be part of a student union who represents our rights. So in that sense, yeah, everyone can join it.
Yeah, we're actually going together. So, well, we'll likely see each other there, even though it's probably going to be a quite big one.
Yeah, we might sit in like very different parts of the party.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
But it's also, the SITS is called as pre-vappu event, so maybe we can talk about vappu and why is there also pre-vappu events.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, because vappu is such a big thing here that, well, as I said before, it's a student holiday right now, a really big one. It's such a big thing, especially for technical students, because I think technical students were the ones that kind of brought this tradition or initiated it. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think some technical students, because I think technical students do everything. They also brought the overalls, which we will also talk about a bit later. So yeah, it's such a big thing that different organizations make a lot of different fests or parties or other events the whole month, the whole April before Vappu itself. So there's like this pre-Vappu thing. But if you have something that you know about from your organizations, you can also
Yeah,
talk
if you
about
if
that.
you search vappu on Wikipedia,
Okay.
you can find that it's said celebrating the 1st of May. So originally you celebrate vappu on the 30th of April or the 1st of May, and normally people, since it's a holiday, people often go for picnicking, and they make. What is the drink called again?
Sima,
Sima,
another Finnish
yeah.
word today.
Yeah, learn Finnish.
Yeah. Sima is, well, it's kind of a lemonade made from sugary water and yeast, technically. So I think that's it, yeah. It's just like slightly not sour even, just like lemonade with a little bit of yeasty, like flour flavor, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can see again that in Finland it is very, you can see by these kind of holidays how much it is emphasized on the life balance. So it's not only about work, but people take some holidays like this to go for just picnic and have fun with their families, spending some quality time with their families and friends. So, but about the organization, I think Digit, the organization, one of the organization, technical organization, took it more seriously than the others, and they start celebrating for Vappu 20 days before the Vappu. So every day, right now, every day they have a plan, and sometimes it's approt, sometimes it's just partying, sometimes. So every day they have a different plan till the 1st of May.
We have a question, which is actually a very important one.
Okay.
Are all classes finished by Vappu, or do studies continue after the 1st of May?
It depends on the program, really a lot, because I know some people whose courses end by like 20th of April. Mine, well, I took one course that will start around 2nd of May and 5th of May, because it's a really short and intensive one. But if I didn't have that, then all of my courses would also end before like 27th, I think. So yeah, I wouldn't have anything by Vappu. What about you?
I think same for me, like my teaching, so lectures and seminars will end by 27th or something like that, but then deadlines are in May.
yeah, there might be some assignments left, but no contact teaching, no labs or no lectures.
Oh, but I actually have thesis meetings
Oh,
in May. Like our last thesis meeting will be in May. So, but it's really just like one day in the whole May, so it's really not affecting anything. What about you?
I think I would still have one presentation to do in May, but nothing serious. I just have to take multiple exams, multiple.
Yeah. But there was another Finnish word when Parisa was talking before. It was approt, and it's kind of one of the things that, well, people organize it just throughout the whole year, but it's also part of the events that are organized before Vappu. And has anyone participated in approt before?
I've participated in ESN approt.
Okay.
They threw this approt at the beginning of the academic year. For all the students. It was not only members, but all the students were included. So we can get to know each other. The fun fact about ESN, especially ESN, is that they have members and students from all cultures and all countries, because they're only for exchange students. So that makes sense. And I think our team, let me first explain approt. So basically you form a team and you start, if it's it can be a museum approt, a bar approt, and you go from one place, one museum, or if it's a bar, one bar to the other, and you have to do some kind of activity. Sometimes it's just basic drinking or basic eating a dessert or something, and then you go to the other, and you have a map. And you stamp your map, and by the time, and the winner is the one who completes all these locations and reaches the final destination first. So I think ESN approt it was a very unique experience because our team was, we had some students from Spain, we have some teammates from France, it was me from Iran, and we had some friends from Korea. So
nice. Yeah,
yeah,
really international.
quite multicultural.
Were you joined at random, or did you know?
Yeah, I didn't know anyone, so I just walked to the first girl and I was like, can I join you?
That's nice. Yeah,
that's how it is.
yeah, like if you, yeah, if you join these kinds of things, chances are high that you might learn, might get to know someone new. So
There is
it's
a
cool
question
thing.
about it actually.
Okay.
If you're a new student, would you recommend joining the student events like sitsit and approt right in the beginning of your studies, or focus on the studies first and join the events in springtime? So
Me and Almira, we have different experience with this one.
yeah, I think, like, to be honest, I believe it's better in the beginning, first because you will meet lots of new people, and just because you just moved, you want to meet new people, and then you're more free in the beginning because it's still like introductions, orientations you're getting used to, but I didn't do that. For some reason I focused straight on the studies, so now my plan is start partying now, and that's why I'm just joining SITS next week. So, and what about you?
Well,
Do you want to share first?
nah, you go ahead. But I want to hear polar opinions.
Okay. Yeah, well, I kind of did the exact opposite, because at the beginning of the year I used to do a lot of parties, and I joined 3 organizations all at once. And well, I think I spent the whole week with ESN. I participate in Anglika's sits, in Anglika's trip, and at the same time it was Digit, and like I took a lot of I participated in a lot of activities, and yeah, I suggest to focus on partying and having fun at the beginning of your studies, because you're new, and well, the studies are much easier and easy to handle, and Finnish students take this time to have fun, so you can accompany them, join them, make new friends, and you don't feel left out if you go partying at the beginning of the year. And everyone is new, so it's totally okay. It's I know it can be kind of strange and overwhelming to come out of your comfort zone, but it's as easy as it is. You just go to the first person and talk.
Yeah.
Just say hello, and that's over.
True. Yeah. I think I spreaded my social life like all over the year, and well, I would also say that it's nice to have a few of the parties or a few of the events at the beginning, because you might see some people you might want to closer interact with later, so you might not need to go to that many parties later on, but you'll just have your kind of circle of friends with whom you want to spend time, and you'll just decide with them whether you want to go to a party or whether you want to have your own thing, maybe a house party, home party, or just chill, I don't know, somewhere in a library together. So yeah, I would say that going in the beginning is a really nice suggestion.
There is a question about Finnish students. So can you meet them in student events, or are there own events for international students?
Well, in my experience, there are both. If you take some of the events like ESN events, they're more international. But like with the SITS, with Anglika, there was only 3 English-speaking students, me and 2 others. And they were kind enough to suggest English songs just for us. So yeah, I think you can meet Finnish students in more Finnish parties.
Yeah. Well, I would also say that some of the events, like the traditional ones, are actually places where the concentration of Finnish students is the highest. So, for example, yeah, the SITS parties, because also the SITS party in which I was, there were only 2 people who were not Finnish, me included. So, yeah, and it also was really nice because we were sitting close to some Finnish students, and we also talked a little bit and got to know each other. And it's also there was also a really nice moment when one of the our neighbors stood up and started talking English and in English, and she says that there are like people who are not Finnish, and like let's kind of cheers to them. And she also suggested a not Finnish but an English song, which was really cute.
Yeah, they explain me every rule. There are a lot of rules
yeah.
when you attend a sits
Yeah.
party
Yeah.
that you have to obey. It's very serious.
Yeah.
So they explain every rule in English for me, and I got to know one of the guys, and I had no idea we had a nice chat that night. And about 10 months later, now he's my colleague. Like, how surprising is that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's how connections work. in
Yeah,
Finland.
exactly. The person you're sitting at the sits party might be your colleague later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other question?
No. Oh yeah. It was updating.
Okay.
What if I break the rules? Do I need to know the rules of sits parties in advance?
Well, if you break the rules, like there is one rule that I don't remember the song, but there is a song which has there is a syllable nyt, which means now in Finnish. So in every word which has the syllable, or in every like mentioning of this word, everyone has to stop singing and to drink something. And if someone continues, to stop thinking. Well, I stopped thinking now. So everyone stops singing, and if someone continues singing, then everyone drinks, the whole room, the whole sits party, and the song goes from the very beginning. So the whole room might be a bit pissed with the person who broke the rule, but it's fine. It's always hilarious, and it's usually really funny.
Yeah, they always make fun rules.
Yeah.
Like in my case, I arrived late as usual, and they made me to play a role. So they gave me a script, and I have to play a role in front of the others with other people who received the penalty. So it wasn't me alone. It was embarrassing. They're quite considerate in that case. So they want you to feel. They want you to have fun, not to get embarrassed or anything. And they're very considerate in that case. And it's always fun. Nothing in particular.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So. You'll learn everything on the spot, because there might be different rules as well. Because I, for example, didn't know about that one.
Yeah. Always arrive on time.
Yeah, it's true.
In Finland, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's really valued to be punctual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, like, what are other events, like non-party-like events you have participated in Finland? Or like, what do you do? Because it feels like we're like, oh, you party and you drink and you go there.
No,
but it's not like that all the time, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. Before we start talking about that, I'll shortly explain what we're doing. If someone has just joined, it's Baking Turku second episode. We're talking about student culture, and we're making Tippaleipä, which is funnel cake, and I have a really messy bottle which I will use to squeeze the dough into this shape, like it's just a cylindrical shape. And I'll just squeeze it in here to make like this kind of a nest from the strings of the dough that come from the bottle. So this will be fried. It just fries for 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll just then transfer it with the tongs from the oil into the plate. Yeah. So that's it. But about the partying, I wouldn't really say that I party that much. I would say it's usually like 1, maximum 2 parties per month, because
that's not much.
I know people who party every week.
Yeah, true, but like I party like once in 3 months.
Okay, but maybe I party even less frequently sometimes. So but besides that, there are also a lot of other things you can do. Just going to cinemas, to museums. There are also, if you join if you have a group of friends, you might organize your own kinds of things, because I have friends who have organized like movie nights where people just gather in a club room, which is also a thing of Finland. If you live in the student dormitories, you can book a club room, which is technically a room where you can gather with other people and do something. And they also have some TV sets, for example, or board games. So you can do any of that. And as I said, some of my friends have had organized just a chat group chat where we just hang out every week or every other week to watch some movies or just to talk and to chat. What about you? Do you do anything else?
Well, I think the best experience of non-partying event that I have attended, it's not like an event, but I think we took a trip with, again, Anglika to a villa close to Turku. And I think they reserved the trip. It was very affordable because obviously as a student, you can't afford to rent a villa for a weekend. So that's possible with the organization. And at the same time, they took me for my first sauna experience. So I experienced the sauna there and jumping in the lake. It wasn't frozen, but it was quite cold. And
I could never.
yeah, and it was like kind of camping because I'm not very an outgoing person. But so different activities and different kind of fun, and they organize a lot of events to keep us busy. We had some kind of Olympic game, we had camping, and yeah, I would say the trip was fun. Actually, in that topic, there is a special organization that we had in our podcast, Academic Scout Guild.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the best organizations, honestly. They organize different trips around the city or around even outside the city.
Yeah.
They go for mushroom picking or just normal camping.
Yeah, hiking.
Yeah, and they often rent the equipments that you need, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even rent, so you don't have to buy your own tent or anything that you need. And there are some people to guide you, so you won't get lost in the jungle or something. And when you're in Finland, you can see the green land and the forest all the time. So exploring the nature is a big part of studying in Finland.
Yeah.
And you can do that by joining this organization.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the episode about this organization should be coming out on Monday.
Stay
so
tuned.
it's literally tomorrow, and you
Yeah.
can listen to it.
Yeah, and it's a really good one because I joined them a while ago, and I had been for several of their events, and they're also really nice because one of them, for example, was a short hiking around one of the islands here, and it was really good because also we were lucky with the weather. It was really sunny. It was still snowy. Is the word, but yeah, there was still snow. It was really sunny, and it was just nice, to hike in a company of around 15 people. I was hiking with a friend, and we were just having some kind of like grilled sausages or something, and a cup of hot drink, which was really cozy and really interesting.
Grilled marshmallow.
Oh yeah, and the marshmallows.
The marshmallow is amazing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so they're really good, and I remember they are also organizing some longer trips, like for several days with the camping, like proper camping. But yeah, they're cool. So here is the ready Tippaleipä. So it looks like a tangle of some threads, and that's technically the ready thing. What's left to do is just to cover it with powdered sugar or sugar powder, and later. But yeah, thank you. But I'll just keep frying those a little bit more, just so that we have like not a dozen, but like half a dozen of them. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Have you, Almira, had any events that you remembered, like going anywhere or doing something interesting?
I usually go to art museums. And Turku is actually, I was surprised because it's a kind of like a smaller town or like a smaller city, but then it has many galleries. There is a Turku Art Museum, which is very big and it's a beautiful building. But then there's also like 2, I think, bigger museums with contemporary exhibitions and then a smaller gallery. Some of them are even free, so you can just walk in and see a new exhibition. And so I did that for a bit. And I also know there is a Turku Art Night coming in August.
True.
I haven't participated last year because I just arrived and things were hectic, but I'm really looking forward to that. And also, just because I remembered, I usually like this city big events, and during Christmas there was this Path of Light event.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I missed it, unfortunately.
I went. I went the first night.
Nice.
I was the first one to go through the path.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like Turku had a few installations here and there, mostly in a center, and the most remarkable one was along the river. They had this flowers which were lit. And it was so beautiful. And it's also fun because I felt like most of the city went there. So it's lots of people, you feel it's like a community.
Yeah.
And then you just walk through some of them and see them. That was fun.
You could hear people talking with many different languages, honestly. You could hear even not only Finnish people, but other immigrants talking and sharing their experience with their family, of course. But yeah, I would say the whole city were taking that chance to walk through the city. Yeah.
We have a question. What would you say are the advantages of Turku and Finland student life-wise?
Well, compared to Belarus, I would say that there is student life. Well, I mean, there are some student events in Belarus. While I was studying, there were some things, but there weren't as many as there are of them here, and also the whole concept of student organizations is is kind of novel to me because we did not have this thing in Belarus, and organization of your faculty, for example, or a student organization of a hobby or anything else. So that's quite a novel and a really good thing to me because I got to do some hobbies that I have never done before. So yeah, that's probably the biggest advantage to me. Student organizations and the variety of the events, and there is no kind of pushing you to go anywhere. It's just there are some, and if you want to, you can participate in them. So yeah, that's a good thing to me.
Yeah. How about you?
I think what makes Turku unique is its size. As I said, it's a cozy city, but at the same time, it's accessible. You can go everywhere, and even if you're partying in the centers and student village where most of the students live is close. And I like it because, to be honest, sometimes the effort of going through the whole big city, and I'm from the big city, it's 1,500,000 people.
Yeah, me too.
It's the effort to go to a party when you need to travel for 40 minutes, sometimes it's not worth it, but here I don't feel it. It's everything is reachable, and you can bike and you can scooter.
Yeah.
And now I'm obsessed with scooters, so I scooter everywhere, and it's so convenient. And I think, also, the student life is very diverse here.
Yeah.
I'm not a party person, and then I still had so many things to do and so many activities to join and so many different people to meet, and that's, I think, it's a big advantage.
Yeah, especially considering the size of Turku, you might, at least in my experience, I didn't expect a small city to have this kind of vibrant, live atmosphere, but it really does.
Yeah. Because sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's just if you think about it, I always forget this number. Is it 20,000 people associated with the universities here that live here? I don't remember exactly, but
I just approximately.
Yeah, I remember that the number is huge. I mean, it's not only students probably, but still, it's just thousands of people who are either studying or doing their PhD here, and all of them are quite ready to some novel things, or just ready to socialize and meet each other. So that's really...
Yeah, I would say the life balance is a very important concept here, not only among the students, but among the academic field, academia, the whole society too. So if you talk to your professors and you explain to them what is the situation, they totally work out with you, and they might set some moderate some moderate version of the test or anything, so you can take it in a slower pace if you want to, and there's no competition, so that's very different to what I've experience so far.
Yeah.
There's no competition, so you don't feel the pressure, and that's a very important part of studying in Finland.
Yeah. Our intel tells us that every fourth citizen in Turku is somehow related to university. I mean, I like not only University of Turku, but any kind of higher educational institution here. So that's a lot, like 25% of the
Yeah.
town.
So how many do we have so far?
Well, we have 5 now. Well, I don't know. It's just I think I got it going, so it's hard for me to stop now. But yeah, maybe just this one and another one, and I'll.
We have a lot
I'll
of
be done.
dough left.
Yeah, we'll just use it later as well. Yeah.
No, continue. We will eat all of it.
I'm packing home.
Right. Yeah, but the thing that we haven't really talked about yet is the overalls or pecularities, which is another Finnish word. So I don't know.
I don't know how much you see.
Yeah. Well, you could lift a leg, maybe. Well, don't do that. Maybe the wire will not
Yeah,
like it.
I'm not sure I
Yeah.
can lift a leg.
Yeah.
But the overall, oh yeah. Also the logo of organization is on the back.
Yeah. Here's the dissection.
So yeah, that's overall of my organization, and Dzmitry has a different color.
So what overalls are, here's the logo of my organization. It's Nucleus. I don't know if you see anything, but I hope you do. So overalls are kind of the like social student, I don't know, uniform in a way that are often put on during student events and student parties. Well, some events are kind of like non-overalls things, but some of them are. But about the overalls themselves, it's technically, just an overall, which the color of which depends on your organization. So for example, Almira's is red. Mine is blue. There are also white, yellow, kind of golden color, black ones. I think you have white?
I have
black. Right.
Black.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so all kinds of colors, and sometimes it's kind of like you can guess from which faculty or program or what the person is studying from the color of their overalls. And another important thing that is connected to overalls is patches. I don't know if I can show it.
I'm also not sure.
Yeah, well,
but you can see it here.
Yeah,
we should have just brought a patch.
Yeah, I should
have.
Yeah, I still have some not sewn to the overalls. So patches are like regular patches, but they often have an image of some kind of like event, or for example, I have a patch.
Or a fun slogan. Slogan.
Yeah, I have a patch for UTUambassadors, who we are. And for example, a patch from the SITS party and a patch from the checkpoint race, which is another fun event that I participated in, or a patch from where? Like Vegas, what would you call it? Like a bar? Not a bar. Club. Yeah, club.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Club and some other things. So the patches kind of show what do you do, what you do, well, I wouldn't say what your interests are, but some people might buy patches which would kind of represent them more. So that's also an important thing. So yeah, it's like a whole another world, another layer of student culture in Finland, because there are also a lot of different rules with overalls. One of them being that you should not really wear it as a full thing, because a friend of mine wore it as a full thing, and one Finnish person or some Finnish people approached him and said, yeah, you should not do it like that, because it's like for technical people, I think technical students or something. So yeah, anyway.
No, even us, we don't do it.
Well,
I mean, there are more than one organization related to
true,
technical.
True. Yeah, I don't even know
majors.
which ones exactly. So yeah, that's one of the rules. Another rule that you cannot really wash them. If you want to wash them, I've been told you should be like in a shower with them. And I think someone told me that one of the old ways to wash them was to swim in the Ora River, which is the river going through Turku. So that was kind of the way people washed it. And do you remember?
And your logo. Your logo should be
true.
like you should tie
you shouldn't
tie it in a way that it represents your logo here, exactly here. So even the tying the sleeves of the overall is a whole process. But don't worry about it. The moment you arrive in Turku, you will see the overalls everywhere with different colors, different shapes. So it's you will see it and you will catch the idea. Yeah.
Oh, also a funny thing that I only learned like a couple months ago, I guess, or last month, is that I couldn't really understand why so many parties are organized on Thursdays here. But then I understood that I was told that Fridays in the clubs or like Saturdays are like usually for not students or not for people wearing overalls. So yeah, if like most of the student organizations or most of the events are organized on Thursdays because like it's the time when you can actually wear the overalls. And
What
do
I
that
think we
stuff.
should explain is that when you can see all the students wearing overall everywhere and at any time. So even through partying, through going approt. And well, if sometimes sits, if it doesn't have a theme or something.
Yeah.
So they wear it everywhere. At any case, you can go even shopping with your overall. It's
You
so
were
okay.
studying in it.
Yeah.
There is a question. How to get the overalls as a new student, and do they cost something?
Yeah, usually no, not usually. Well, so in some of the cases, it depends. It differs from one organization to the other. And some of the organizations charge you for their overall. They're not often expensive, but yeah, around 10.
Yeah, mine
It
was a
20?
bit more.
It depends. It
Yeah, it really depends.
Yeah, because well, the scheme is that usually the student organization to which you belong, and if you're already a member of it, it will ask you in autumn at some point whether you want to order them, and if you want, you'll just, well, I think it might differ, but for example, we just filled an online form on Google Docs.
Yeah, we the same.
Yeah,
We did the same.
yeah, where we just marked it. Yeah, I want the overalls. Here is my size, and so on. And people just brought it later at some point. And the price differs because it depends on how much sponsors your student organization gets. And the more sponsors, the lower the price of the overalls will be. And for example, in some cases, for example, mine, they were free.
Wow,
because we had
lucky.
we had a lot of sponsors. We were really lucky. But yeah, for some people, the case might be that you will need to pay something for it.
Yeah, and it differs from year to year, so
Yeah,
we can't
yeah.
say for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I also heard about a tradition that you need to put one patch which like represents your organization or something very specific on the left side, like kind of here. But I already took that spot with a random patch. I don't know, like, oh, I have a student union. Okay, it's not that random. But I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I just heard that. I also like, I heard it from someone else who heard it from someone else. So it's not even like.
Yeah, there are a lot of rumors going on.
Yeah.
And the overall concept is very open. So sometimes you might even see a totally blue overall with one sleeve pink or white, and then you realize that they can change a part of their overalls with someone else. For example, their girlfriend to show the connection.
Yeah.
So it's a very fun concept. Some of the organizations don't even have overalls; they have cape, very special, very unique.
I mean, I never
Yeah,
really
they have
heard
a-
of it.
Yeah, it's a very
Which
unique
one
idea.
was it?
Um,
I don't remember.
yeah, they have a black cape instead of the overalls. Very cool.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it. So
It was history.
Ah,
History.
okay.
man.
yeah, Intel helps us again. So yeah, back to the cooking. I'm holding a knife now. I'll put it. I'm done with most of the, not most, but like a sufficient number of these, and we're just gonna serve some of this. So how it's done is just like done like this. There is a Tippaleipä, and here, ooh, well, it's good. Like it's usually served with a lot of powdered sugar, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
More sugar is better.
True. But another thing I came up with, I wanted to go fancy, so I'll just melt some chocolate and kind of dip a cake into the chocolate to cover it with it. And I also have some hazelnuts, which I will chop into like some fine pieces, and I'll also kind of sprinkle the hazelnut on top of the chocolate side of the Tippaleipä, so it will be like another layer, because I think they're nice but a bit too simple, so I wanted to add something more. Yeah.
Hey, sugar.
Yeah, more sugar.
Yeah, and because he studies food technology, I'm not sure you need a degree to dip
Yeah, I
them
don't
on
think.
chocolate.
Yeah, it's true.
But still, like he still invents some
Yeah,
recipes.
yeah.
And so baking Turku 1 was
Yeah, with the
was
recipe,
the recipe
from my course.
Dzmitry invented. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we eat some of Dmitry's recipe every time we attend a party with him. So he always brings some cookies to our parties and events. So good.
yeah, be friends with people from food technology.
Yeah.
Well, I
Find
can,
Dmitry.
yeah, I can't speak for everyone, but yeah, I do like to do something with food. Cook it and eat it.
I actually was here at the cooking event. It was organized by, it's like a charity organization, like NGO kind of organization, which is not affiliated with university, for all the internationals.
Okay.
And there was a risipirka,
Oh yeah.
which is
Another Finnish word.
rice cakes, like let's say rice cakes. They're in this like boat shape.
Yeah.
And they're done with a rye dough, and they have like a rice porridge in them. Super tasty. Recommend trying. Like it's one of the best Finnish things. And you can buy them frozen in a store. But now I also know how to make them because I was in this like master
Oh
class.
yeah, true.
It was so much fun.
I'm actually gonna make a similar thing, which is called röntönen, which is another Finnish word. So it's kind of the same thing, but like there is a small like addition of berries, I think. So it's like a bit sweeter, but yeah, really good.
Talking about Finnish cuisine, we can talk about mämmi. I just tried mämmi, and it's a kind of dessert that you have on Easter and in Finland. And well, you might see the look, and it's not very appetizing look-wise, but when you try it, it has a very good taste. I suggest everyone to try it, despite the look and despite the rumor that you might hear. But yeah, one of my teachers actually bought us some to try.
Nice. Oh, wow,
and
nice.
try to persuade us how good it is. But when I tried, I was impressed really. And yeah, that's it.
What is your experience with Finnish food?
I never thought about it before, but I thought now that a lot of Finnish foods are something that are really difficult to describe with words. Because yeah, like this thing, mämmi, or like the riisipiirakka or the other thing. So yeah, it's something interesting.
Or
But
salmiakki.
yeah, or salmiakki. Yeah, like. Well, it's like
Salty?
chemically salty, sweet,
sweet at the same time.
Yeah.
And you can find it in anything. You can find salmiakki chocolate, you can salmiakki ice cream, cookies, everything. They're everywhere, and Finnish people love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, not everyone, of course, but a lot of
Like
Finns,
almost
yeah.
all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I find some really interesting things. For example, this one or the recipe I'm going to cook for. Not next episode, but like the last episode of the series. Yeah, so I think that a lot of people sometimes underestimate Finnish cuisine, but there are still like some gems or some really interesting recipes that are worth either trying to cook or at least tasting.
Yeah, especially in Turku. Turku is well known for its cuisine, and it has more dessert in comparison to other cities in Finland. And one thing to remember, if you want to try mämmi, try it with vanilla sauce. It's delicious. Or whipped cream. Again, delicious. I can't emphasize enough.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to find like a Finnish restaurant in Turku. That was my struggle when I Googled. And it's not really a thing. So make Finnish friends and they will introduce you to cuisine.
Yeah.
Or you can go to market hall, kauppahalle, where you can actually try something. And it's a cool experience. You're in a market, you walk there, like different restaurants, people chatting. So you should definitely try some things.
Or you can even try glögi to pronounce it. I'm trying to pronounce it accurately.
You got it right, yeah.
Yeah, and glögi is I think it's only special to Finland, right?
Well, it's
Sweden, I think.
I
as
think
well.
it's Sweden, Germany, like Central Europe.
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's just called glühwein.
Oh,
they're
and-
very different.
Really? I think it's the same.
No, I think glögi is like very unique to like Sweden, maybe Norway and Finland. But then glühwein is like completely different thing. Don't
Wait,
translate.
but like, do you mean non-alcoholic glögi or?
Like they're made different, and the glögi
Okay.
is way more sweeter.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, but during
For me, it was the
Christmas,
same.
close to close to Christmas, you can find glögi everywhere. And when you get invited to a Finnish friend's house or anywhere, they definitely serve glögi with cinnamon cookies. Quite tasty.
Yeah.
I still have my last bottle of glögi from Christmas. After the Christmas, you don't drink it that much, but during the Christmas, it is the true Finnish Christmas spirit. Finnish
Yeah.
and Christmas.
Yeah. Well, it's really good when it's cold outside and you just sit
Yeah.
around and drink it.
It's
and,
hot, warm.
Get under a blanket. Yeah. Really good. Really good.
I also love how they have a bun culture in Finland. That there are days where you should eat a certain type of a bun.
Ah.
So there was a Runebergen
yeah.
torttu.
Torttu, yeah.
It's like Runebergen. Sorry, Runeberg is a very famous Finnish guy, and
yeah,
he is
poet.
not connected to a cake itself. Like he didn't invent the cake, but everyone eats a cake on his birthday, and then. I think like week or 2 weeks after there is a laskiaispulla day, which is this bun which has a whipped cream in between. And then there is a cinnamon bun day. I don't remember the Finnish name.
Well,
but
the
there
good
is.
thing is that if you don't cook just like me, you can always buy them from a market.
Oh yeah.
So don't worry.
Yeah. I thought about it, and the intel confirmed it that Runeberg's wife actually was the one who invented the cake, or at least it's like the sources have it that it's.
Oh, this looks so delicious.
that is
Look at the
Runeberg's
chocolate.
wife. Yeah. So here is the thing, and laskiainen, which is another Finnish word. It's I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of Fat Tuesday, but it's kind of the day I think before the great fasting begins in Christian culture, so it's kind of related to that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And here is the ready Tippaleipä dipped in chocolate and covered with hazelnuts, and I think they're quite ready for us to go for them.
Yes.
Maybe before that we can answer one of questions if there are any in the chat. Are there? Well, if not, then we'll just taste the Tippaleipä. Go ahead.
Oh,
Help yourselves. Yeah.
Oops, I moved the whole thing, but I am tasting.
Yeah.
Is this cold?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the chocolate is still a bit
Oh yeah, it is
soft,
good.
but it's fine because of course.
Nice.
This is great.
Yeah, I like
Thank
chocolates.
you.
That is good.
We're going to stick to Dzmitry forever.
Right.
We're not leaving you.
Right. Yeah, I like it because it's quite crunchy. It's not that sweet, but there is powdered sugar or chocolate on top of that. So the whole combination is quite good, and I think it will be really good with, like, sima, like too, because it's also the combination that is usually that people usually have during vappu, and also my all hands are messy.
Oh yeah,
But
mine
yeah,
too.
I don't care. Yeah, it's too
It's
good.
a fun part about it.
But yeah, so this has been Baking Turku 2. It's difficult to switch accents. We were talking about culture and student culture in particular. We made some Tippaleipä. And if you want to know more about student organizations, you can listen to Parisa's podcast, in which Almira also took participation, a really big participation.
We shared the
We
podcast.
shared the podcast. That's
I
not
didn't
only
know.
one.
I only know about Parisa is the owner. Okay, yeah. So you can listen to Parisa's and Almira's podcast. The link will be in the description. Also in the description, if you want to have a look at all of the ambassadors that are currently studying at the university, there will also be a link for that. And I think that's it. Thank you for joining. Hopefully we'll see you later in Turku.